What is a startup accelerator and how does it work? In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about startup accelerators, some of the pros, some of the cons, and where you can get started in applying.
If you want to live here, you've got to deliver. Like Steve.
Jobs or Wozniak? Steve Jobs or Steve...
No, I heard you.
Which one?
Jobs.
For a growing startup, acceptance into an accelerator program can be a great way to fast track your business growth. What is a startup accelerator? Well, the first thing to know about these specific types of programs for startups is that they're normally a short-term program, between 3 and 6 months. And during this program, you're going to be doing a variety of things in order to bootstrap your business towards growth as quickly as possible. Now, all accelerator programs are going to be designed slightly differently depending on how they're funded, whether it's from a private person or group of investors, right through to academia or even some government-run programs. A good way to think of them is kind of like a boot camp for market readiness. Some programs will offer seed funding. Sometimes this is in kind, and sometimes they're going to want some equity in return. And this means that not all accelerator programs are right for everyone, and you've really got to consider your own circumstances. And also provide things like a co-working space, as well as one-on-one training and mentorship. This, of course, leads to probably the biggest advantage of an accelerator, and that is networking. Throughout the program, you're going to be introduced to like-minded entrepreneurs, as well as investors, and people who have experience in the industry that you're working. At the end of the program, there's generally a demo day where you can pitch your idea to investors, which will hopefully be able to take you to the next level. I'm not saying that everyone needs an investor in their company straight away. It might not be the right thing to you. It's just the way these programs are designed. Now, the number of accelerators has been growing rapidly, and it seems like there is an accelerator for every kind of business in every kind of industry these days. So you shouldn't be short of options if this is the kind of thing that you want to get involved with. Some of the big name ones are Techstars, Y Combinator, 500 Startups, Plug and Play, and Dream It. Now, because accelerators generally have a fixed duration, you're going to spend time in deep focus on your business startup. Now, this is a massive positive if you need to rapidly develop an idea in order to scale it out over a short period of time. But it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Some of these top business accelerators accept less than 5% of applicants. That's harder to get into than some Ivy League business schools. So generally, it's a fairly straightforward process, other than the fact it's super competitive. You fill out an application, you sit some interviews. This could be anything from one interview to a series of behavioral interviews and telephone interviews. And if you're accepted, then you enter into a program with a cohort of like-minded entrepreneurs who are all trying to rapidly grow these startup enterprises. Okay, so let's step through these codes. So you're entering an accelerator program with a cohort of peers. That's got to be pro number one. You're all going to be like-minded individuals, all striving for similar success. Number two is the potential for growth. The ultimate goal of the accelerator program is to scale the business. So you're going to have dedicated work time, expert training, as well as investment opportunities, which are all going to allow your company to thrive. Pro number two is this valuable feedback. These programs, well, many of them anyway, you've got to look at each individual program and see what it offers, but most of them offer kind of a one-on-one meeting with program advisors, and they have this experience with growing startups, gaining investors, and entering into markets. And all of these kind of blend together, but pro number three are these networking opportunities. So not only working alongside other startups in co-working spaces, you'll also be attending workshops and getting unparalleled access to successful entrepreneurs who might come to a seminar and deliver some kind of motivational speech to keep you on the right direction, as well as the mentoring opportunities, as well as, some accelerators have an alumni program, and people who have just generally been successful who will be helping to guide you on your journey. Number three is the seed investment or some kind of investment. Now, this is obviously depending on your own circumstances, whether you want to take on investment at this stage. But if you do, this is a great opportunity to find investors and potential partners who might fit your business and your own personality and ambitions. Some of these programs are very prestigious. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be in a prestigious program in order to succeed, but being in one of these prestigious programs obviously helps with some of these networking opportunities. They're going to have access to different alumni, as well as the brand name associated with it. Saying that, there are some great smaller niche accelerator programs too, which might fit into companies in, food tech or some other kind of niche market. Okay, so before you go into this, we should also discuss some of the cons, because an accelerator program isn't going to be right for everyone. Generally, they're looking at companies that are on a trajectory towards high growth. Now, if you're in something like alcohol brewing or something similar, it could take you a long time to grow because you've got to wait for whiskeys to mature or something like that. So it might just not be the right thing for you. One of the big cons is this idea of loss of equity, and this is really going to depend on your own circumstances and something that you're going to have to research and put a lot of thought into with you and your team if you have one. Getting an early stage investment can be great for growth and enable you to invest in things that will help your business reach its goals, but at the same time, you are giving up some of your ownership, and this is going to come with challenges along the line, including things like reporting requirements, as well as what happens when you go to raise further rounds down the track, if that's what you're planning to do. The second con is this commitment to rapid growth. As I've already mentioned, this isn't going to be the right fit for all companies. Certainly in the tech space, this is what we've seen recently, where companies invest extremely heavily to grow and hope that the bottom line falls out at some point in the future. Now, this rapid iteration and scaling isn't going to work for every business. So you've really got to think about whether it fits your business model or whether you're playing in a niche market where slower growth and the kind of long-term profit generation is more right for you. And there's probably an accelerator program that fits that model because there are just so many out there. So you just got to do your research and find something that fits your business model. And finally, I've mentioned all this networking and all these opportunities as a pro, but it's also a massive con because you're going to be distracted from that deep focus, which is why you're in these programs to begin with. All of these social events, all of these mandatory meetings are going to get in the way of that deep work and focus. Now, again, not all accelerators have such a busy social schedule, so do your research and see what's out there that fits you and your personality. Okay, so you've watched this far and you think, yes, an accelerator is exactly what I'm looking for. But what are they looking for in you? Well, there's a few things that you should consider. Generally looking for kind of small, recently established companies looking for that rapid growth. Some of them want startups in specific sectors, such as ag tech or food tech or education tech. But across all of these, there's generally a few common requirements. They are things like a functioning business plan, some kind of minimum viable product, strong teamwork abilities, scalability, coachability, and that entrepreneurial spirit and drive. So some of these are about what you've already done and achieved, writing a business plan, creating a minimal viable product, and some of them are all about you and your personality. Are you coachable? Will you take on feedback? Do you have that entrepreneurial spirit and drive that if someone says your business is rubbish, that you're not going to kind of pack it all up and throw in the towel tomorrow? So in summing up, is a startup accelerator program right for your business? Well, only you are going to be able to answer that. Some businesses prefer to grow slowly and aren't necessarily a good fit for accelerator programs. And bringing on investors isn't always the right thing for companies to do. For a business in need of expert guidance, investors, as well as rapid growth, then the accelerator program could be a good fit, depending on which one you apply to and how successful you are with your applications. So I guess if you're looking to grow quickly, concede some control by giving away some equity perhaps. If you're keen to pitch to investors and put yourself out there at pitch nights, perhaps even relocate to a co-working space, as well as commit to some really deep focus, then an accelerator program could be a good fit for your business. And of course, because there's so many accelerator programs, people have carved out another idea, which is the pre-accelerator program. And this could be another great way for you to get a taste of what an accelerator program might be like by really starting at the very beginning. Before you even have a minimum viable product or a business plan, you can join a pre-accelerator, and I'll do a full video on these. If you like, just hit the like button below or drop a comment. If you could hit subscribe as well, that'd be tops. Otherwise, I think that's everything I wanted to discuss. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know, and I'll keep making a few more in the future.